It's literally, it's lit. Z. Peace, everyone, and welcome to the first official episode. Okay, which now I'm thinking the other one should have been not episode 1, should be episode like 0, but we're not gonna worry about that. Anyway, welcome back to Literally Z. It's me, Z. I titled this one "Truth Is I'm Tired" because I am. And I have my good sis Tam LeMan on the little thumbnail to further exemplify the fact that I'm tired. And I said to myself, don't do the second episode right after the trailer, right after the promo. And yet here I am because I'm so tired that I don't know that I can get back into work right now. I really don't know if I can look. Right now, I'm hearing the boom bam sounds that they be playing over Dr. Umar. I really don't know that I can get on the laptop and do more reading. I really don't know if I can do more writing right now. I really don't know that I can. I need this break. But to get into some of the things that have kind of transpired thus far, I want to go over as the first episode. We're not going to talk about the present. We're going to go a little bit into the past. Let's recap a little bit. How did we get here? What brought us here? How did we get here? So, starting my PhD journey was rocky. I experienced a transfer after my first year, and so transfer credits are not perfect. Also, programs don't perfectly align. So, there was just a lot of uncertainty there, and I was very apprehensive about it, but it has worked out for my good. I have really done very well at my new institution, and I'm more so overwhelmed because it's so many good opportunities coming and I have to balance what I'm saying yes to. And I'm also trying to protect my weekends. And so there's just a lot of ways in which I'm looking for balance, and balance is running in the opposite direction for me. Like, I'm chasing balance down, and she's just like, no, girl, gotta be quicker than that. Like, she just constantly, like, just dodging me left and right. But nevertheless, I am still pursuing her. And in that, I have also been trying to really pause on, like, I've really been trying to not lower my, I don't even know how to word it right now. Like, I don't even know how to say it, but I have been more open to the unknown. That's really what it is. Yeah. I've been more open to the unknown, more open to change. I used to be very scared of change, hated uncertainty. It was like the plague to me. And so I think now I'm getting better with uncertainty. And so if I trace back to my first year, I knew exactly what school I wanted to go to. I applied to one school. I got into that one school. I know exactly what courses I wanted to take, what specialization I wanted. And that's exactly what I did. With the transfer, all of that went out the window, and I had to really open myself up to what could be. And I think that has been, having done that after my first year and now being in my third year, has really helped. Even though I'm still chasing balance, even though I haven't met her yet, I think it has put me in a better position to continue that pursuit because I'm more open to whatever life will bring to me. So for my project, a little bit about that. It started out really from my own experience as a teacher and the relationships that sustained me as a teacher, especially my last year teaching. The principal I had was just overwhelmingly anti-Black. And I can say that with full force because even as someone who is of African descent, the principal who's African descent, internalized anti-Blackness is a thing. Also, I'm not even gonna go there, but nevertheless, internalized anti-Blackness is a thing, and so I can say that full stop and not feel like I need to mince my words. It was anti-Blackness. It was anti-Blackness toward our students and our families. It was anti-Blackness toward the teachers, and that's why so many Black teachers left. With her being there only 1 year, that's how that happened, and literally she made a statement saying that she felt that, or let me make sure I quote it correctly. Someone else was, marveling at some article that said white teachers teach Black kids better than Black teachers, something to that extent. Like, you don't need a race match, basically, that you don't have to have Black teachers teaching Black kids. White teachers can do just as good. And the principal said something about like, well, is it wrong if it's true? You think that's true? Oh, really? That's how you feel? Huh? So yeah, I don't have to tiptoe around the fact that she was anti-black. And so who did I lean on? One of my biggest support, and again, because I'm not really doing a lot on myself, I'm not gonna do a lot on my friends either. So we just gonna call her E. ZNE. So anyway, E really, really, really was such a great support and friend for that year. It was rocky at first. She thought I didn't like her. A lot of people say that about me. My personality is not necessarily super warm and fuzzy, but I'm a very kind person. I care about people very deeply. And so as we spend more time together, we did more collaborative projects. We're supporting our students in ways that really were, she's math, I'm reading, but we were merging so much in our pedagogy and the way that we were practicing the methods. Like, and when I say methods, even just the care we took for students' well-being versus just their curriculum and their academics and stuff. Since all that stuff was in alignment, it was easy to become friends, and we've been friends ever since. And so in thinking about my relationship with her, but then also this really, really amazing counselor that was there my first year teaching, it just like I mean, especially coming into like the pandemic times and the ways that so many of us were depressed, social connectedness was at a probably like an all-time low. There is literature on that, so I'm not going to say all time, but there's a lot of literature that social connectedness took a super big hit with COVID-19. And so I found myself being supported and even, dare I say, therapized by this school counselor, elementary school counselor, so much. And so even thinking about my relationship with her, and then the list goes on and on. Like I taught in a city that was different from the city I'm from. And I moved to that city with a friend. We're going to call her T. And even just her support as well. Just like, and I think more than anything, just knowing that I have someone there with me in this city, especially moving there by myself, otherwise, quote unquote, like without family, having someone there that loves and cares for me as a sister was just really important. Without any additional support, that was just, I mean, like so crucial also to my time there. So thinking about those relationships, I was like, where is this in the literature? And I think there's a lot of literature that does a beautiful job talking about the ways that Black teachers, especially, perform as other mothers and other fathers. And when they talk about that, they're really saying that Black women, Black men teachers take on these paternal-esque roles with students. Students look to them as parents, as like pseudo parents within the school building. The teachers are caring for them as they would care for their own child. And it's a beautiful process, but it also comes at a decent cost to the actual teacher, because that's extra emotional toll. Yeah, it's an extra emotional toll on them, especially for teachers who have their own kids. God bless them. My goodness, like, it's so much extra. And again, it's emotional work that we signed up for, right? It's emotional work that I loved giving. I love my kids still. So it didn't stop when we left, when, we exited my classroom and we've parted ways. I still care very deeply for them. But sometimes we start caring for them more than we're caring for ourselves. We're worried about what they have going on. And it's since past the kids, it's also their families. So I don't just mean me to that child, but me to that family. When storms occurred, or, there's other different disasters in just the family itself, folks are passing away, especially, again, during COVID times, and families are struggling. I'm connecting with them just as much as I'm connecting with their child. And I'm taking them on also as kind of an extension of family. And so that's where we come into this idea of fictive kinship. So kin, like, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, kin, right, is family. So fictive kin, these are people who are not actually your family members, but you all support each other, care for each other as you would your own flesh and blood. That being said, that's not necessarily what I wanted to cover, because I feel like that's very deeply all in and throughout the literature. And I wanted to see more about how Black teachers are supporting each other, how those relationships exist, especially since COVID-19, and now super especially since the second Trump presidency has transpired. Because I feel like now more than ever, we need to lean on each other. And that's what the project is. Now, is that how it started? Not exactly. Again, it started from my own personal experience. And so everyone I mentioned were all also Black women. And so I was going to focus only on Black women. And that kind of extended not from force, but honestly just from conversations and from having transferred and taking on a new friend who's a Black male educator, and having him like read my work and just have different discussions in general about our different teaching experiences, other folks we know in the work, and again our dissertation topics. And I felt a little bit of like, dang, like why didn't I include Black men teachers? And I think it was just from some not the best experiences with some of them, and thinking that I wanted my research project to really be a collaborative one, a collective one, and create fugitive space, so space of refuge and care and love for those who are partnering in the work with me. And I did not want that to come at a cost if there are folks in the space who are going to be bringing in negative like ideals of white supremacy, patriarchy, xenophobia, homophobia, da 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 da. And I know sometimes because of toxic masculinity, so it's not their fault, it's definitely pushed onto them, but because of toxic masculinity, sometimes that is what Black men will bring into spaces. And so I had that fear. And after, just a lot of reflection on it, and also meeting some other really dope Black male educators in the city I'm in, I was like, you know what? Let's extend that. And then that, you know what that means? Extend the literature review. So you know what that means? Read more, write more, read more, write more, read more, write more, read more. Like, and so that also, has added to my overwhelm, but it's also made me even more excited for the project because I see how I'm doing what I said I wanted to do. I said I wanted to be responsive to people. I said I did not want this to be just a solo project, me being the one author pilot of the thing, but to really bring folks along for the journey and partner with them in an authentic way. And so I feel that having these conversations, and again, it's extended past my friends, and this is something I'm happy to put on the podcast because it's an audio record. I'm about to say written record, but audio record of something I need to add to my actual written work is that I've also, again, discussed with other teachers outside of my own network, because I understand that, your friends, people who you're close with, they oftentimes have similar ideas, thoughts, experiences that you have. And so stepping outside of that is definitely necessary, especially because the folks who I'd be partnering with would be outside of my friends, right? So I have met with other people just in kind of going to community events. I really have been intentional. We coming back to balance. I've been chasing balance. I've been chasing her down. She trying to get away from me, but I've been chasing her. And so I've gone to a lot of community events and tried to really, I wouldn't say integrate, because I know I'm still an outsider coming in, and I don't like to just colonize somebody's space with in such a way. But I have tried to, in spaces that are open to folks like me, come in very authentically as myself without an agenda. So I haven't been like having a notepad out and, can you answer this question for me? Great, thank you for this answer. And I'm going to add this, very casual conversations. They're talking about their experience. We're, introducing ourselves. They want to know what brings me to the space. Like, oh, well, I moved here for school. Oh, okay. What you go to school for? It naturally comes up. They naturally ask me about what I'm in school for. They naturally ask me what my topic is. What do you want to do with it? So these questions naturally come up. And as I talk about myself and my work, they have thoughts, and I take those thoughts with me, and I like to acknowledge them as I'm acknowledging them here. Again, I'm barely even naming myself, so I'm not naming them, but I acknowledge that these ideas have really come from a collective effort. And so that's kind of, I think, a better first episode intro to the work I do and kind of what brought me to today. So last year, over the summer, I did my comprehensive exam at my institution, which means I'm officially done with coursework. Yay! Woo! Yay! Woo! Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm patting myself on the back. Thank you so much. So I'm finished with coursework, and that means I went full throttle into the writing process for my proposal. And at first, I feel like I was making such great headway. I finished my literature review in November, but then I got stuck on the methods so bad. I got stuck on her so bad. I think I got stuck on the methods because I was very, so my advisor doesn't let me see how I word this, because I don't want to lose you. I don't want to lose you. Stick with me. Stick with me. Doesn't like to speak about imposter syndrome as it is typically discussed within institutions and organizations. Okay. Follow me, follow me, follow me. This is why. Because what they do is they take this idea of imposter syndrome and they put the issue on the individual, quote unquote, experiencing imposter syndrome, instead of really interrogating, dismantling all those different things, the structures and systems that are causing those feelings and emotions, because they're real feelings and emotions from real policies, real systems, real structures that can be changed. They don't have to act like that. They don't have to be that way. It don't have to feel like this to be in classrooms with y'all. It don't have to feel like this to be in board meetings with y'all. It don't have to feel like this. Y'all are doing this on purpose. Okay? This is intentional. Then you want to tell me that I'm the imposter when really you all are. You all are the real imposters. And in order for you to feel bad about yourself and for you to feel like you are still, quote unquote, superior to me, now you got to make me feel some type of way. Now you got to make me question myself, because I've already worked 10 times as hard as you to get into this position. And now I'm stressing myself out, basically killing myself to keep quote unquote keeping up with y'all, when really most of y'all that be sitting in these little pretty little positions, not as qualified, don't know nothing, don't do nothing, et cetera, et cetera. So I wanted to give that disclaimer before I even mentioned the idea of imposterization, so that you knew where I was coming from. So again, I know I'm not the imposter, but I also know that these systems and the way they operate and the way white supremacy operates through them can make you feel like you are. And so I definitely felt that. I definitely felt that. They tried to get me. They tried to get me. And so that's where I got stuck on my methods chapter. I felt that it wasn't rigorous enough. I was second guessing the method. I was second guessing um, how I was even writing it. And also, I've done a little bit of work recently reading other people's dissertations. And so I think that also added to my concern, because I'm like, ooh, like I'm reading theirs. Mine's not going to quite sound like that. But also, mine is a very collaborative, collective project. I want it to be anti-colonial. I want it to be countering anti-blackness. I want all these different things that are not typical or traditional within the academy. And so I can't expect my non-traditional anti-colonial work to perfectly fit into that mold. And so it just kind of was getting that balance together. I have finished the methods chapter. I am currently revising it, but I'm also doing so many other things. So I've traveled every month this year so far, and we're just in March. So I don't know why I say every month, like it's been so many months. It's only been 3 months, girl. But still, traveled every month. Okay. And also just done a lot of presentations, done some writing. I feel like I need to publish more. So again, getting back to what I said, where I said I was overwhelmed, I feel a little bit of overwhelm about publishing more, but I have so many presentations under my belt and those to come as well. In line with the publishing piece, though, I'm now going to be a co-reviewer for a journal, and it's pretty top tier. Okay. Okay. You'll get more information as I see fit, but it's a pretty top tier journal, if I do say so. No, not even if I say so. That's what the people say. All right. That's what the interwebs say. Okay. So I'm reviewing for that journal, which I, again, also felt a little bit of that, like, who am I to be reviewing somebody else's work? Girl, how much have you even published? Who are you to be telling somebody else what they should be publishing and what they should be doing to fix their stuff? But I'm, trying to get off of that. And so I think even, oh my goodness, the podcast is already working for me, y'all. It's already, come on, get a hand clap for the podcast. It's already working for me, because as I talk through it, I think that's why I even started this podcast, because I was overwhelmed by the fact that I was thinking, who am I to be doing this review? Like, I don't think I'm qualified for this, even though as much as I have read and studied, and the topic of the paper that I'm reviewing is pretty in line with work that I have read and studied. And even I haven't read through the whole thing yet. I'm supposed to do it by tomorrow. Sir, I do need to get up off this podcast soon. But I just was kind of second guessing myself, and I didn't want to, doom scroll on the interwebs, doom scroll on social media. I didn't want to, like I said, dirty in my house. I said that in the intro, and again, I'm recording this the same day as that little trailer, okay? Because clearly procrastination is her name. But I didn't want to do that, And so I want to do something productive. And again, I've been supposed to be journaling my dissertation journey. And so this is just such a great outlet. And I already feel it working because that reflective moment of realizing why I was even struggling to do the review that I have to do for tomorrow is making me feel more at ease about it. So shout out to this space. Shout out to me. Thank you. First, I want to thank me. For even going out on a limb to do the podcast because talking through this was actually very, very, very helpful. I feel like on the next episode, I should be able to, because I already feel like I got what I need to get out. And if you listen this far, I'm already loving that I can talk longer than I can on my voice notes. So for those who know me, if you know, you know, this is way longer than what I would usually send you, but this was very, very fruitful, at least for me. And thank you if you made it this far. But yeah, I feel like I can now go back and do that without feeling as stressed or um, unsure of myself. I feel more confident, honestly, having gone through my trajectory to this point and also re-articulating for myself that I'm not the imposter. I feel good. On the next episode, like I said, I should be done with that. I should also have done revisions for my own work. And so I might talk a little bit about what those revisions looked like and what I'm hoping to do on the next phase. I also don't know how many podcasts I'm going to do, like one a week, one every couple weeks, one a month. I don't know if I'm going to have different topics. If you have suggestions, let me know. If you want me to talk about something, because I mean, there's so many topics that are not necessarily my main topic for my dissertation, but they're relevant. I can yap about them. Yeah, they're at least adjacent, if nothing else. So I'm open to suggestions. And once again, this was me, literally Z. Thank you for listening. Bye.